Make sure you stay to the end. If you don't stay to the end, you are going to miss out. So make sure you stay to the end. Okay. All right. So about me, um, I since this I immigrated to Canada in 2007, right, to do my master's in environmental engineering at the University of Alberta, right. So I did my first degree in Germany, and I was able to get a full scholarship to study there. So information is very, very important to me, right? Because one information changed my life, right? That information was able to help me leave Ghana to come to Germany to study free of charge in an English university, okay? Because of one information. One information which was write the American exam, SAT, ACT, which was $40 at the time. I'll never forget, $40 at the time. That information just changed my life, and I was able to study free of charge. Room and board paid for, tuition fees paid for, pay absolutely nothing. At a time that my parents could not afford to pay even $1,000. That's how information can change your life. Okay, so when I came to Canada in 2007, right, I realized that at the time I was a graduate student, like an international student, and I realized that tutoring, like education, like teaching, teaching like private classes was being done at learning centers. Okay, so those learning centers were places where, like, I'm sure you guys have heard about Kumon, Oxford, Sylvan, these companies, right? Whereby, as a parent, you have to drive your kid from one classroom to another classroom, right? And sometimes you have to fight traffic, like fighting. If you are living in Alberta or any part of Canada, you are going to fight the snow and traffic and all that stuff. And I say, you know what, hold on a second, there has to be a better way of doing this, right? Because back home in Ghana, right, we used to have what is called studies teachers, right? These teachers used to come to our home to do tutoring services. I'm like, okay, we can do something like that here in Canada. So that is where we started doing mobile tutors. So I'll show you here a company here. Just one sec. Yeah. So here, this is I hope you guys can see here. So this is our website here. Mobile tutors, mobile tutors.ca. So we provide one-on-one in-home tutoring services across like, we operate across Canada. We do both in-home and online tutoring services. So if you're looking for tutoring, that's a place where you can check out and then join us and stuff, right? So this was before there was Uber, Skip the Dishes, and Instacart and all these things, right? That was in 2008, long time ago. Okay, so I am a serial entrepreneur. I did my master's in environmental engineering. I'm an engineer, and I'm an investor and a trader, right? I used to work 9 to 5 previously. Now I don't work for anybody, right? I'm my own boss. I don't need to ask my boss for approval to take my son to soccer at 4 p.m. or 3 p.m., right? I don't need that. I could just go and then plan my time and manage my own time, right? That is what is called freedom, time freedom, right? So when I when I started investing, I it was able to help me retire early, combined with the business that I had already, because I could have retired from my 9 to 5 a long time ago, right? With my business. But I said, you know what, I'm passionate about this. Let me continue doing it, that kind of thing. But it got to a point where there were too many things going on, right? I can't do everything. So, and the amount that I was making from the market was in 1 hour was more than how much I was making in my 2 weeks of 9 to 5 income. So I felt that, okay, this was the time for me to leave after putting together a system. So I'm going to teach you the system that I'm currently using right now to pay all my living expenses in a very safe and secure manner and not work for anybody. Okay. So my initial interests were in tech stocks, penny stocks, and ETFs and stuff like that. And when I started, like every other person, like people go to YouTube channels, they jump from YouTube channel to another, trying to get information, trying to shortcut things, and like it came with successes and failures, right? Until I decided to take mentorship because I say, hey, this is serious. I got to take this serious in order for me to get to the next level. Okay. So I took mentorship, and then after that, after taking all the mentorship, I built a system, right? I built a system that can be used to make money consistently from the stock market in a very low risk way. This is for people that are busy. Like if you have 15 minutes a day, you can do this, right? You don't need to be staring at charts or checking things. Even 1 hour, a whole week, you just need 1 hour for this strategy that I'm going to show you here. Okay. All right. So I've read many books, like over 100 books, self-help books. I've taken mentorship from millionaire investors and traders. And through that time and throughout my observation with the markets, I can tell you, I've done everything to do with the markets, from day trading to swing trading to everything. I can tell you which one is high risk and which one is low risk, right? I'm also a long-term investor as well. So we built at Trading Rich, we have a successful day trading system whereby we only trade like 1 hour a day. Today's master class is not about day trading. This is for option selling and also how to create cash flow from the stock market. Okay, so that also has, we have built the cash flow blueprint. So what's my mission? My mission is to spread the gospel of stock market knowledge, to make it accessible, to help immigrants and minorities and all people to achieve financial freedom, because this is something that is not taught in school. I have clients who have done MBAs, business course, even finance, and they don't teach them all this stuff. I even have clients that work for hedge funds like Goldman Sachs that they don't know certain things, right? So at the end of the day, you have to learn a high value skill. Okay. All right. So if you want to connect with me, like you can take a you can take this QR code. I'll put it here for 10 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So take a, and you can have all my contacts, all my links there. If you want to book a meeting with me after this, you could always go ahead and do so, right? Okay. All right. So let's get to the business. So here, this is the disclaimer. Trading Rich and its associated companies are not licensed financial advisors. The information presented here are solely for educational purposes, should not be considered as financial advice. Past returns, I'm going to show you some return on investment on this strategy. It does not mean guarantee future results, right? Always conduct your own research and consult a licensed financial advisor before making investment decisions. Okay, so I believe that currently we live in a new world order. We have a new technology that is changing, disrupting everything, changing the old world order into a new one. And that technology is called artificial intelligence, AI for short, right? In this tweet here, Wade Foster, that's the CEO of a company called Zapier, said, we now have more AI agents than employees. That's a milestone. That's an interesting milestone. What is an AI agent? AI agents are, so let's say you're an administrative assistant for a company. Example, what they do is that they hire you to train AI systems which can take your job. So now with the AI agents, these AI agents can go and do all the major things that the administrative assistant used to do, right? It can log into emails, it can send emails, it can do a whole host of things, right? That is what they are doing now, and they are doing that in different professions. So very soon they are going, I mean, it's already started. Very soon there's going to be a lot of jobs, especially white collar jobs, right? The jobs that used to be prestigious, that we used to go to school for. I mean, I know from African background and stuff, what your parents teach you is that work hard, go to school, and find a job. Nobody tells you to set up a business. It's like that is something out of the blue, right? But now we live in a new world order where it's going to change a lot of things. So I know there are parents here. I'm in the education industry. My company has helped thousands of students over the years since 2008, and I know the impact of AI in education. And AI is going to render most university degrees redundant. So if you're a parent here today watching this masterclass, just know that if your kid is going to school, ask yourself before you invest money into that program, is AI going to take the job when they finish the program? Ask that question, or you can even ask ChatGPT to do an analysis for you to figure out whether that profession is going to be impacted by AI. If it is, please don't advise your kid to go do that. I know there's this saying about having passion and stuff like that. Nah, it is not working this way, right? There are certain things that you just have to do the right thing, right? Do the right thing so that you don't end up spending $50,000, $100,000 on a degree and you finish and you don't have a job. For the first time, new graduates are finding it difficult to find jobs. There are areas in the economy where there are jobs, right? But AI is taking majority of these jobs away. So we live in a very important time. Okay. So in the new world that we have recent layoffs, these are recent layoffs. Using this from US. US. You have UPS laying people off. Recently, we got a layoff from for what's it called, Oracle, which was 30,000 employees. So many jobs are not safe at this time. There are companies who are hiring experts to train their AI agents. And then once they finish training them, they lay them off. So there's going to be a lot of layoffs. So this is not the time to just rely on only one income, right? Because that one income is not going to be enough. Okay, you need to find a way where you can be in control of your own destiny. Okay, so this takes me to the next slide. Learning a high value skill and setting up something on the side which is not your 9 to 5 to find a different stream of income has become very, very important in this era, right? And I'll use the quote from Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King said, "We are now with the fact that tomorrow is today. We are confronted with the fierce urgency of now," right? So we are living in a time where you do not have the option. You have to find a way to learn a high value skill whereby you can control your own income, your own destiny, right? So that is something that is very important. So I'll give you a story. In 2012, I was doing my engineering job and I was laid off, right? At the time, I've always made sure that whatever be the situation, I always had my side gig. Even when I was a graduate student at the University of Alberta, I was still doing my business on the side, right? It wasn't easy. I'm not going to lie to you, because combining studies and business and part-time work, all sort of things, is difficult. But I always say that, this is something that gives me the control. So when I was laid off, I was like, all of a sudden you are laid off, and then that time my wife was expecting our first kid. My son is actually going to be 14 years this April here. And that time I said, okay, you know what? This is the time for me to double down and build my business. So I used 1 year to transform my business at a time, put it in a certain way where I have people that could manage things and do a lot of things for me as the business, and scale it. Then went back again and was working and also managing my business at the same time, right? So I have been through layoffs. I know what layoff is, and it's not a good place to be, especially if you don't even have anything on the sideline, right? I mean, I had things on the sideline, so the layoff was even a blessing in disguise for me to build my business and scale it. I even set up a second business at the time that year. So we live in a period of what Martin Luther King calls the fierce urgency of now. Okay. All right. So what is this masterclass for? This masterclass is for the professional, busy professional who is looking for a simple investment approach that they can use to make passive income, right? Without clocking in, like spending time to do this stuff. So it's like I see work as clocking in, like going to work 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week for a paycheck. That's work, right? But here, you're going to realize that you're not doing any work. This is not work, because it's 5 minutes of your time. If you know what you're doing, you analyze it and stuff, you execute, and you make your money in a safe way, okay? And it's also for individuals who are looking to find a different stream of income, right? Because there are people who always talk about I want to make a different stream of income, but it's just talk, right? This is where you can make it, and you can make it safely. Okay. All right. So the Western world system. So the Western world system is a system designed to punish people who earn and save, and rewards those that will borrow and invest. That's how the Western world system is. So if you're an immigrant, maybe you don't know this. This is how it's set up. And also, one more thing is that the Western world system is set up to benefit businesses and entrepreneurs, not employees. So that is why the employee's tax rate is higher than the business, right? Because with the business, you have control over everything. And then when we get into economic crisis and things go bad like COVID, when they are bailing out, they bail out businesses. They don't bail out individuals. They bail out businesses. So it's important to understand the system and then use it to work in your favor. Okay. All right. So many years ago, I read this book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, right? Rich Dad Poor Dad. And in the first chapter of the book, I have it here. Rich Dad Poor Dad. The first chapter of the book, it says, "The rich don't work for money." I'm like, what is that? What's the meaning of that? Is that even real? And I read through it and I realized that, okay, that's what they say. Okay, you build a business, do all that stuff. So this book even helped me to double down on my business and scale it. Okay. Yeah. So, and there's also another book that I really like, The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. MJ DeMarco is a prolific writer issue. If you've not read this book, I highly recommend it. Okay. So here, in Robert Kiyosaki's book, the same author that wrote the Rich Dad Poor Dad, he says that there are four streams of income, right? Everybody, all streams of income are going to be within here. So it's called the cash flow quadrant, right? So you have the employee. So you can see here that the employee, you spend time for money, right? They have 12 freedoms. One of them, the most important one, is time freedom. Time freedom is something that is scarce, that when you lose the time, you can get it back, right? So here you see that the employee is using time to make money. Okay. Self-employed, if you be a self-employer, sometimes you even work more than an employee, right? If you don't have a system in place, you work more than the employee. Okay. So here the self-employed has to put time into something to make money. And then here you have the business owner, right? So the business owner is someone that has set up a system that is working for them so that they make money while they sleep, right? You wake up in the morning and a client has bought one of your products. Cha-ching, you made money, right? Because you put the system in place. And then we come to the investor. So an investor, you could invest in real estate, you could invest in a business, you can invest in a lot of things, or you could invest in the financial markets, example, the stock market, to get return on investment, right? So that is what I'm going to teach here today in this masterclass. So 3 foundations of financial independence. Many years ago, I put on Google like how to be rich or how to make money, right? And the three areas that came was stock market, real estate, and entrepreneurship. That's what I saw. And actually, the world's richest people, from Elon Musk, who is number one, to the others, the top 10, etc., most of them, their money is in the stock market, right? Their money is the stock market, right? And some also invest in real estate and stuff. I know for immigrants, we look at real estate as everybody that is in professional wants to go into real estate. It's great, right? I see real estate as a place where you can preserve your wealth, right? And then the stock market or financial market creates the cash flow. It's like the engine, right? Because you can get the money and then put it into real estate. Because with real estate, you know that you don't need the money right now, and you can wait for it to appreciate, right? And real estate, I own real estate. I can tell you that real estate is cash flow poor, right? Compared to the financial markets or the stock market. Okay. All right. So we are going to go into fundamentals of the stock market. So put in the chat, let me know how many of you are beginners. Like if this is the first time you've heard about the word stock, or maybe you have some stock investment, like you're a beginner, someone that doesn't know much about the stock market, put one in the chat so that I know you're a beginner, so that I know how to go through things. Yeah, so if you put that in the chat here in the Google, in the Zoom chat, that'll be great. And let me know. Okay, so what is the stock market, right? What is the stock market? Okay, so the stock market is a place where it's like an assembly of exchanges and markets for buying and selling shares of a stock, right? So if it's stocks, it's called stock market, right? If it's currencies, it's forex. Like you see, and a lot of people talk about forex trading, this kind of thing, right? If it's crypto or cryptocurrencies, is an exchange for cryptocurrencies. So if you are buying and selling something on Coinbase, you are using a crypto exchange. Okay, and then key terms. So you have to know. So every stock has its nickname, right? Like abbreviation. Like Richard can mean Rich, etc. Richie, etc. And in Canada or in the Western world, someone called William, their nickname is their shortcut or nickname is Bill. I don't know where the B is coming from, but it's Bill, right? So every stock has it's called ticker symbol. So if you tell me, okay, I want to buy Tesla, I'll say, okay, what is the ticker symbol? I can Google it and find it. So Tesla is TSLA, right? Meta is Meta, right? Gold is GLD, and Nvidia is NVDA, right? So there's trading versus investing, right? Trading is short-term buying and selling, and investing is holding something long-term, right? So you've seen a stock that you think you've done your analysis and you think that this stock is going to do very well, and then you buy it and hold it for 5 years at least minimum or more, right? Sometimes you can hold it 1 year, etc., right? But these are stocks that you want to own, and at some point you can pass it on to your kids and your grandkids and stuff, right? So that's where you can build generational wealth. So wealth is built with long-term investing, and then short-term oriented trading is a place where you can make income, right? You can make income to sustain your lifestyle, etc. And then in the stock market or in all financial markets, there are two schools of thoughts, right? There's one called fundamental analysis, where we will go deep into the business and say, okay, is this business a profitable company? Is it what products are they making? Is it a company that another company can come and wipe them out? That's fundamental analysis, right? And then we have technicals. Technicals are when you are using historical data to predict where a stock is going to go in the future. So at Trading Rich, we teach our students both, and we are very good at it, right? So if someone that masters fundamentals and technicals becomes very dangerous and unstoppable in the markets, right? So that is something that is very important to note. Okay, so next slide here is that quick facts about the stock market. So I'm going to focus mainly on the US stock market because the US stock market is 45 times bigger than the Canadian market. So we go where, and US stock market dominates the world anyway. So we go where the action is, we go where the big money is. So that's where we focus on, okay? So there are over 6,000 publicly traded companies in the stock market. So what happens is that most of the times, like let's say you have a business ABC. If you want to grow the business and take it to the next level, what you do is that you come and list on the stock market where you have to follow certain rules, and then you get individuals to buy in shares of your company. When they buy in shares, you are generating revenue. That revenue can be used to go into more research and do a lot of things and use it to help you build a company. Because what is the main reason why companies are built? Is anybody able to type that in the chat? What's the main reason for a business? What's the main reason? What's the one word for a business? What is the main reason why people set up businesses? Can you type that in the chat? If you can type that, that would be helpful. Let me know if you guys are still following, if you guys are still awake, right? So what's the main reason for a business, right? Main reason. Okay, to make money. Yeah, to make profits, to make profit. So in the stock market, there are about 40% of the companies listed on the stock market are not profitable. Some of them claim they are going to be profitable in the future. Okay, so there are companies that come because maybe they've taken loans and they've taken things to invest in the business. It doesn't mean that if something is not profitable, it's not a good company, right? I've invested in companies that are not profitable, But because I did my analysis and stuff, and I saw that this company can be a diamond in the rough, I invested in it. I understood the risk, and I went in. And those ones presented very good returns. Some of those stocks have even done 20x, 15x return, right, on investment. So this is something that you can do. So it doesn't mean that if a stock is not profitable, it's not a good company, right? That's why I wanted to show. Okay. All right. So another thing that you have to know about the stock market is that in the stock market, there's something called the S&P 500 in the US. That's the index that tracks the top 500 companies in the world. So these are the most valuable companies in the world, right? Right now, the most valuable company on earth is Nvidia, right? It went as high as $5 trillion in evaluation, right? So, or if you want to know where the best of the best companies are, they are in the US and they are listed in this S&P 500. So over the last 100 years, right, the return on investment of the S&P 500 is 10.5% if you find the average. Obviously, it doesn't mean that every single year is going to go above average. It's including down years and up years and stuff, okay? And if you apply inflation, right, if you include inflation, which is around 3% right now, you are going to see that this is going to be 7% approximately, okay? All right, so what's the recent return? 2025 returns on the S&P 500. Last year was a very good year for the market. So it produced up to 18% return, right? Which is above the average. Okay. All right. So if you are an investor, you have to make sure that your goal is to beat that 10% or 11% every year. That's your goal. If you are investing in something and you're not making 11% per year, that means that you are not doing well. It means you have to do better than that. And it's on you to do better. Okay. So there are companies out there that help people on Wall Street to invest. So if you have money, if you're a millionaire, billionaire, you give them money to manage for you. And then they have a fee and all that stuff that they charge. So 94% of active fund managers in the markets fail to beat the market return, which is that 10.5%, 94%. Even one of the greatest investors of the last 100 years, Warren Buffett, even did a challenge fund managers that anybody that can beat the S&P 500 over a 20-year period, he was going to give the person millions of dollars. And only one person signed up for the challenge, and that person even failed, right? So it tells you that the guys that are actively, this is their full-time job, they don't even beat the S&P 500 on a year-to-year basis. So if you get an investment strategy that beats the S&P 500, that means that you have a gold mine. Okay. All right. So over here we have, so the strategy that I'm going to show you last year, you know that last year was the S&P produced 18% maximum. Last year, this strategy produced, the strategy that I'm going to show you here is a low risk strategy, no risky stuff. It produced 40%. So we beat the S&P 500 by a mile, massively by a mile, right? And this year it could even do more than that, right? It could even do significantly higher than S&P 500. I'm going to show you some returns from March. Month of March was a down month in the stock market, but the strategy and the portfolio did really, really well. Okay, so here, investment milestone. So objective is to deliver investment returns that are consistently outperforming the S&P 500. That's the main goal here. Okay. All right. So what is the stock market? So apart from knowing the definition of the stock market, what you have to know that the stock market is moved by cause and effect. If there's negative news, it's going to go down. If there's positive news, it's going to go up. Okay. So in the stock market, you always have to think the opposite of conventional wisdom, right? And the market is moved by fear and greed. Okay, I'm going to touch about fear and greed very soon. So those that remember, in last year April, we got one of the worst sell-offs, 3-day sell-offs in the stock market history since World War II, and that was due to President Trump's tariffs. And those in our community, immediately President Trump won the election in 2024. Immediately won the election. in December of that year and January of 2025, I did a masterclass and I did a breakdown of all President Trump's policies that he promised in the presidential campaign. And I said that if he goes ahead with that tariffs, it's going to cause the market to sell off and go into a bear market. And in March last year, we got that bear market. And that was a great time to buy a lot of stocks, right? So that is something that we have to know, that stock market is a cause and effect. So cause and effect. So in the stock market, there's something called Black Monday. Black Monday is the worst day in the stock market, like worst sell-off day in the stock market, right? So you have here Black Monday 1987, and those that are a little bit older, 2008 great financial crisis, and we have COVID. Everybody remembers COVID, right? Yeah. So when we are in great financial crisis or great market sell-offs, that is the best time to invest for those that know. Because in life, the biggest price we are going to pay, all going to pay in life, is one of them is ignorance, and then the other one is taxes. The two are the biggest prices that we pay in our lifetime, right? So not knowing. So in 2008, when I set up my company, I did not even know about the stock market, and I wish I knew about it. Right? I wish I knew about it, because Apple shares went as low as $3 at some point, right? It was really low at the time. And I could have bought some, because $3, $11, whatever it was something that I could afford. But within my circle of influence, nobody knew about the stock market, right? So that is something that is good to know. And again, information is seasonal. Okay, so these other ones are other sell-offs that have happened, and Trump tariffs, Liberation Day sell-off. Okay, so the fear and greed index is some index that you can Google it. Go to CNN, you can check it out. Fear and greed index. So market is moved by fear. When there's fear, market sells off. When there's greed, people FOMO in, like fear of missing out, then market goes up, right? So when there's extreme fear, the conventional wisdom, the regular human behavior is that they run away from the market. But that's the time that you have to be buying. You have to be loading the boat. So on April 7th, right? On April 6th, I did a masterclass similar to this, where it was a Sunday, and the fear and greed index at the time was 4. The following day was 4. And I told everyone in the masterclass that the following day the market was going to reverse. Is the best time to buy. Go buy all your favorite stocks. You are going to get a big return. So because the thing is, this fear and greed index goes from 0 to 100. So if the thing is at 4, how low can it go? Is it going to go to negative? No, it's not going to go to negative. So you think the opposite. Then you see, so that move alone, you could see that things rally. So here, once we get to extreme greed, that's when you have to be selling, taking profit, right? Taking profit, because at that time you are going to realize that even your next door neighbor that doesn't know about stocks or anything will start telling you, buy this stock, buy that stock. That will tell you that the party is over, right? It's time for you to exit and lock in some profits, right? Okay, so there are two different markets. We have the primary market and the secondary market. So primary market is like the who is who market. These are like, if maybe you see a company ABC, and they're starting off and they don't do much, right? They don't have much going on, and you invest in them at the earlier stage. And then once they make it to the stock market, like example, Coinbase is a cryptocurrency exchange. So that's the place where you buy and sell options. You buy and sell cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff. So when the company was in their infancy, the rapper Jay-Z and Nas invested in this company. And then the time that the company listed on there's something called initial public offering, if a company wants to list on the stock market. So the secondary market is what we participate in, because we don't have connection to the who is who of the company. So after the fact, when the who is who's have invested, that's when we invest. So by the time that Coinbase listed in the stock market, it was listed at $100 billion. That was the evaluation. So these guys, Jay-Z and Nas, made a song from it. It's featuring DJ Khaled, right? They made a song from it because they made a mint from that, right? So that is the thing. So the secondary market is where we invest in. That's the New York Stock Exchange, the Nasdaq, those places. That's where we invest in, right? So key market players. Who are the key market players? We have the market maker. Market maker is somebody that facilitates transactions. If you buy and sell, they are the ones facilitating the transaction. And then how do they make their money? They make their money from the bid and ask price. It's just like you go to your neighboring Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts for those that are in the US. Let's say the coffee seller told you that the thing is $1. I say, no, I don't want to pay $1. I want to pay 90 cents. Then you bargain, and then you eventually decide on the price, right? So the difference between the 90 cents and the $1, that's what the market maker makes. That's their profit, right? And then investors are those that are buying and holding shares long term, right? 5 to 10 years, etc. And then traders are those that short-term gains, like holding something for a week, a day, that kind of thing, or a couple months. Those are traders. So indices. So in the market, in the US stock market, we have key indices. We have the Nasdaq, we have the S&P 500, and then we have the Russell. So Nasdaq is the one that controls the tech companies. So there are 100 companies there. So you have all your technology companies under the Nasdaq. And then you have the S&P 500, which is the top 500 companies in America, right? And then you have the Russell 2000, and then you have Dow Jones Industrial. So Dow Jones Industrial is the index that forms the fabric of America. These companies are what I call legacy companies. They've been in the stock market. Some of them have been there for like 50 years, 100 years, right? Like a stock like, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. What do? They sell sugary drinks, colored drinks, right? When you go buy pop, you are contributing to Pepsi and Coca-Cola, right? So, and you have Walmart, right? Walmart is a shop that we all go to shop. Walmart. So these are very, very profitable companies. Like in order to list in the Dow, you have to be profitable, right? Solid companies only are the ones that list there. There are only 30 of them over there. Okay. So stock ownership. So in 2019, a friend of mine told me about Tesla at the time. So I mean, I didn't know much about the stock market, so I had some money and I just invested like $860. Okay, and this $860, after the rise in Tesla in the year 2020, like during the pandemic, that $860 went to 52,000. So $860 invested, I did not touch it, I did not do anything to it. It went to 52,000. So where else can you make this kind of money? Are you going to make that in real estate? Are you going to make it in what, some business or something? No, it's only in the financial markets that you can see those kind of exponential gains within a short period of time. So from 2019, late 2019 to December 2021, this produced what? 52,000, because Tesla had a phenomenal pandemic, right? That's what caused the rise of Tesla, and it became a Magnificent Seven company. This company is called Magnificent Seven, so you can Google that. That's going to be your homework. So there are market sectors. We have 11 sectors. We have energy, materials, everything. So these are the 11 sectors of the stock market, right? And so there are certain things that you have to know as somebody that is invested in the stock market. Some of them is called, I call them the Big Ten. So I'm going to go through what they are quickly in an analysis. So by the time you leave here, you should be able to analyze a stock on your own. So if your friend comes and say, buy stock ABC, you say, okay, hold on a second, give me a second, I want to analyze it. Within 2 minutes, you should be able to analyze the stock to know whether it's a good investment or not from a fundamental standpoint. So we are going to go through that very quickly, very soon here. So there are market cap. Market cap is one of the terminologies that you have to know, right? In the Big Ten, market cap. It's market capitalization, right? That's the value of the company. If they say NVIDIA is worth 5 trillion, how do they come up with that number? They come up with that number using what is called share price times shares outstanding, right? So when you do the calculation, depending on the company, its worth and its market cap, this can determine whether it's a mid cap, mega cap, etc. Right? So these are the definitions. Okay. All right. So I'll go into quickly here. I'll go into analysis, right? So analysis here, you can look at, so there's a website called Yahoo Finance. It's free of charge, like, you don't need to pay for it. So go to Yahoo Finance and you can, download the app. You can go to the web version. So I'm using the web version here. So this is a company here. This is called, so I'll start with Walmart. We all know Walmart, right? Let's start with a company that everybody knows. Okay, so this Walmart. So Walmart is a place where, so if let's say you don't know what they do, let's say you don't know what Walmart does, right? So here, this is the ticker symbol WMT. So you come here, you look at it. So you go to when you go to your Yahoo Finance, you type in the ticker here, or you can type in the name. So here I know the ticker, I know it's Walmart. You can type in the name and it's going to show. And then once it opens up, let's say you don't know anything about the company, you come here and click on profile, right? So profile is going to tell you what the company does. So you can read this information here to get an understanding of what the company does. Okay. And then you go back to summary. So summary gives you the key information, right? And the big 10 is over there. So you have your market cap. So the market cap of Walmart, by the way, Walmart hit a big milestone.
Sorry, Rich, we are not seeing what you are sharing.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. Are you seeing it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, I thought I did that. Sometimes these sharing things messes up. Thank you for flagging that. So I'll go back. So here you go to Yahoo Finance, right? Yahoo Finance. See, type on Google Yahoo Finance. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. So you go to Yahoo Finance, and then depends. So one way to start investing is that look at the things that you use. Example: most people have Netflix subscription. You can start with investing in Netflix, right? It's a great company. Or Walmart. I go and shop at Walmart. So, okay, I can buy Walmart shares, right? That kind of thing. So these are things that you can start with, okay? And then you can do the analysis. So this weekend, all the things that you use, Apple phone, everything, you can do analysis of those stocks to see whether those stocks are good stocks to invest in right now, okay? So Walmart, so basically you go to put in the ticker symbol, and then you go to the profile. Go to the profile here. You read about what they do. If you don't know, assuming you don't know what it is, right? And then you go back to summary. So summary is where you see the details, like what the company does and like, you know, all the key metrics of the company. So here, let me click on this. Yeah, so here, this is what we have here, summary. So here you have the previous close, that's the previous closing price of the stock. The range within the stock traded, 126 to that. And then you have the market open, and then here this is the 52-week range over a 1-year period. This is how much this stock has traded at Walmart, from $90 to $135-ish, right? And then here, this is also an important part. The formula that I showed the market cap. To calculate it is here, this number. So you have something called outstanding shares times the stock price. The current stock price is going to give you this amount. And then here you have what is called EPS. So right from the get-go, once you go to Yahoo Finance, right, within a split second of checking the summary, you can know whether a stock is profitable or not, right? So here you see this number, earnings per share, right? And EPS means earnings per share. If there is a negative number in front of this, that means that it's what? A loss-making company, right? That means that that company is not making money, right? It means loss-making company now. It doesn't mean that they're not going to make money in the future, right? There are other things that you can look at as well. But from where the get-go, I know that Walmart is a profitable company. And also I come here, I check the 1-year estimated target, right? This is what analysts, so all the, you know, Wall Street analysts, all the smart people on Wall Street, they come together and analyze each individual stock and give it a target for the year. So the target for the year for Walmart is 136, okay? $136. That's the target average from the highest to the lowest, okay? That's 136. And right now, Walmart is trading at 126. That means that there's still more room for this to grow. It has about $10 more to grow to the end of the year target price. And then here, you look at dividends. So dividends there are certain stocks that they make a lot of money to the extent that they want investors to continue buying their stock, right? So in order to reward them, what they do is that they give them what is called dividend, right? They give them dividend. So if you hold shares of Walmart, for instance, every share that you hold, you make 99 cents per share. 99 cents. So I think Walmart pays every 3 months. Every 3 months, they pay you like a dividend, right? So if you own 100 shares, the company pays you $99 every 3 months, right? For that, to have that. So that is something that these companies do. So in terms of analysis, what you do is that you go down here on the same summary tab, you go down and look at this. So you see here, first of all, you can clearly see what the revenue and earnings is. So you see that this is growing. So you see the bar chart, the thing is growing. So if you draw a line, you can see that year in, year out, these guys are making money every quarter, right? And even on a yearly basis, you can change it from annual to quarterly. And then here, what you do is that you come down here. This is the most important part here. You look at the analyst price target. So remember I talked about the 1 year target. So this is, they find the average. So the most pessimistic Wall Street analyst gave it $62 end of the year. And the most, what's it called? The most optimistic gave it what? 150. So once they find the average, they find that the average is going to be what? 136 for the year. Okay. So here, what we look at is that we are going to look at what is the, how many analysts here. So this is the current one, this is April. So here we have 43 of them, right, that have reviewed this. And if you look at this, 9 is the green. So if you add the 2 greens, it's 39. So that means that majority of Wall Street analysts are saying that this is a buy. So it's a good stock to buy, right? You can buy it. So that's one check mark to use, right? Another check mark to use is what is called what is called this over here, analyst price target, right? The analyst price target is showing that there's still more room for this to grow. I mean, this can go to 150 or even more. That's with the most optimistic analyst. So that means that there's still more room for growth. So it's a good company. And then you also get a bonus for getting it. You get like dividend as well. Okay. And next thing that I check out is I go and check out the third metric, which is I go to what's it called? Analysis, right? I go to analysis and I check out what is called EPS actual. That's earnings per share, like how much EPS defines whether a company is profitable or not, kind of thing, right? So I come here and I check for EPS actual, right? EPS actual. So if you see an increment from 1 quarter, that should be more than enough. That shows you that, okay, that company is a good company, and you have those three check marks. It means that Walmart is a great company to invest in, right? So this is just a quick one. There's more. There can be other analysis that can be done, but I'm just keeping it simple here in the, to make it easy. So you can use that to figure out whether a stock is profitable and is a good investment in a matter of seconds, right? Let me do one. Let me check another one here quickly for you guys. This is a company. So here, this is going to be a quiz for you guys. So, right. So this is the company, right? This Oklo, right? You can go and read their profile and learn what they do. So here, this is like a nuclear company. They are looking to do nuclear energy, right? So here, right from the get-go, is this company a profitable company or a loss-making company? So if put that in the chat, let me know if you guys are following, right? Is it a profitable company or not profitable? Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Let me see who is following here. Is it a profitable company? Is Oklo a profitable company or not profitable? Based on this, right? So remember, EPS is the key reference. It's not profitable, right? Because this EPS is negative. So it means that this is a loss-making company, right? And you can even go into more detail and stuff like that. So this company here, those in our community have been talking about it. Let's go to the financials. I'll show you something. So the financials here, look at this. Everything here is negative, guys. Look at everything here is negative, right? And then why do businesses do business? They have to make revenue, right? Look at the revenue, 0. This company has not made any revenue. 0 revenue, right? But at some point, it was trading at $100 and something. So if you don't know about this, you go and invest in it. If we get a crash in the market, this company can go into single digits. So these are things that you have to be watching as a investor. Okay. All right. So we finished this. So now let's go to. So now that you know about this, how do you buy these shares? Right. Someone say, okay, how do you buy shares? So buying shares, you can use what is called brokers, right? Yeah, brokers, like, like Interactive Broker is one of them. There's TradeZero, there's Momo. Those in Canada, you can use Interactive Broker, QuestTrade, Momo, there's Wealthsimple, and all this stuff, right? In the US is big. They have lots of brokers there. So you have your Robinhoods of this world. You have the E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Charles Schwab, a whole bunch of them, right? So the good thing is that in the stock market, like if you have a broker like Interactive Broker, you can buy fractional shares. You don't need to have, like Walmart was at what $126 per share. You don't need to have that $126 to buy it. You can buy $10 worth of Walmart shares. That's a fractional share, right? So you don't necessarily need to do that. And then also what you need to know is that the financial markets is the only place where there is no discrimination. Why do I say that? Because if Elon Musk, he's a billionaire, world's richest man, invests $1 billion in Tesla, right, or any stock, and then I'm not a billionaire, I invest $100 into it, and let's say Tesla moves by 20%, the two of us made 20% return on investment. The only difference is that Elon Musk put $1 billion, I put $100. That is why the financial market is the greatest equalizer, right? It doesn't matter if the billionaire invested this or that, our returns are the same. Just that some people put in more money than the others, okay? All right, so these are the brokers that you can use. And then other thing that I'm going to talk about here is that now that we've talked about stocks, let's talk about options, right? We are going to go through this quickly here, talk about options. So options, what are options? So options get their price from a stock. Not all stocks have options, okay? So options are like a derivative. It derives its price from a stock, right? So here, stock options are financial instruments that give you, the holder, the right but not obligation to buy and sell at a predetermined specific time frame, okay? So for instance, if I want to buy, let's say I want to own 100 shares of Walmart, right? To own 100 shares, as we checked, is $120 times 100, which is 12,600 USD, right? I don't have 12,600 USD right now, but I have maybe $200. With that $200, I can buy an option for a specific period to be able to control 100 shares, to buy 100 shares of Walmart in the future. That's the power of options, okay? And in doing that, I have to, the $200 that I'm paying is called a premium. It's just like insurance premium. If you drive a car, you have car insurance. If you have home insurance, right? The premium that you pay to your insurance company is what is called the premium. The longer the duration, the more premium you pay. Example, 1 month insurance payment is lower than 1 year insurance payment. The same thing applies in the stock market. It gives you ability to control 100 shares of a stock, right? And in order to do that, there's something called a contract. So you have a contract, and the contract gives you ability to control 100 shares of a stock to buy it or own it in the future. Okay, so that's what option does. Okay, so in a quick way. Okay, so you can buy and sell. So if someone is thinking that a stock is going to go up, they can buy options, right? If they think that a stock is going to go down, they can buy puts. So there's put options and call options. I'm going to talk about that, right? So call is like, just like someone called me and I picked up the phone. I pick up, hello, Richard speaking. It means that a call, I lifted the phone, so it means that the thing is going to go up. That's a good way to remember. So you buy a call option. You picked up the call. If you put the phone down, put, right? It means that you are speculating that the stock is going to go down. So you buy puts to profit from it to the downside, right? And every premium, usually you are going to get price like numbers. So if it's like $5, it means that you are paying $500 times 100. That's what it is, okay? All right. So why do options exist? So the main reason why they set up options was to protect portfolios, right? So if you have some shares of a stock and you want to protect your portfolio, you buy put options to protect it from downside market sell-offs. So by the way, what I want you to understand is that the stock market is designed to always go up, right? 75% of the time, the market goes up. 25% it sells off. So I can say that the stock market is designed or rigged to go up, right? That's what you have to know, because what you have to know, why is it that? Because companies are going to be making profits. They are going to be doing new innovations and stuff. So the value of those companies are going to go up, right? So if they go up, what do you expect? The stock market is going to go up, right? So that's the key, okay? So option give you is like insurance and leverage. What's the leverage? I paid only $200, but I'm controlling 100 shares of what's it called, Walmart. That's leverage, right? And the premium that I pay is like insurance, right? To pay that kind of thing. Okay, so some terminologies for options is strike price. So the strike price is the price that I want to buy, example, Walmart in the future. So let's say I say, okay, I want to buy Walmart at $130 in the future, right? Or maybe I want to buy Walmart at $120 in the future. So if Walmart goes up or it gets to that point, I can determine whether I'm going to buy the shares, or I can just sell the contract to make money from it. Okay, so the price at which I want to own the shares is called the strike price. Okay, so here we have expiration date, that's the deadline. So are you buying 1 month insurance, or you're buying 1 year insurance, right? 1 month insurance is you pay less, 1 year insurance you pay more, right? That's premium. And then contract, one contract is equal to 100 shares. Okay, all right, so here this is just a pictorial view here. Information. So here, call options. So call, I've explained it already. Speculating that something is going to go up, you buy calls, and you have a fixed price that you want to buy it in the future. You have the time and you pay the premium for it. And then put is you are speculating that stock is going to sell off, or ETF is going to say, ETF means exchange traded funds. It's like a basket of stocks, basket of investments, right? So here this is stock price, and then expiration, and then your premium that you pay. So here, there's two things that happens. In the market, there are folks that buy options, right? They buy options hoping that the stock is going to go up or is going to sell up, right? So those are the guys who are speculating, right? And those that do not have a system and do not understand how it works, most of the time they are gambling, right? They are gambling. So they are like in the casino. They're just throwing things out there to see which one is going to stick, right? But these guys who sell options are like the insurance company. And question for you guys, put yes or no. Do insurance companies lose money? Put in the chat whether yes or no. Put yes or no in the chat. Whether they lose money, right? Insurance companies, look at that. No, they don't lose money, right? The same thing. Do casinos lose money? No. So in this system, I'm going to teach you to become the casino or the insurance company, and you take the money from the gamblers, right? You take money from them, right? Like that, in a safe, consistent way, whereby you can use that to pull money from the market on a regular basis to pay your living expenses, pay your mortgage, pay your rent, pay everything that you can, even replace your 9 to 5 income eventually once you scale up. Okay, all right. So here, what is an option contract? So an option contract is that I want to buy or sell one contract, which is equal. One contract is equivalent to 100 shares, as I said, controlling 100 shares at a strike price, the price that I want to buy it in the future, my ideal price, at an expiration date. Let's say 1 month insurance, 1 year insurance. I pay a premium. Obviously, if I'm buying it for a very short period, I pay less. If I'm buying it for a long period, I pay more, right? So number of shares is 100 usually. The price, strike price premium, is the amount that you pay over, and that varies based on duration. Okay. So what are the benefits of options? So options is one thing is that it lowers your upfront costs, right? And then it also serves as insurance. It's also a way to profit from any market, whether it's going up or down, right? And also a way to create new stream of income. So that is where the strategy I'm going to talk is built on, right? So we are going to turn ourselves into an insurance company or the casino to take money away from the gamblers. Okay, so these are the biggest mistakes for beginners, right? And when I started, I also fell into this trap, right? I lost money, right? But losing money does not mean that that's the end of it. It means that you have to learn from it and then do the right thing. So most people, when they start here at the top of this triangle, right? This pyramid. They start from day trading. Day trading is high risk, very, speculative. Like, you have to have a system. You have to know what you're doing in order to make money. So at Trading Rich, we have a very profitable day trading system where we just trade only 1 hour a day, and we are highly, highly profitable here. So this came after years of putting together, doing a lot of historical data analysis, and I put together the day trading system, right? So as a beginner to the market, everyone has to start here at the bottom. So that forms your foundation. It's just like you are building a house. You don't have a foundation, you are building the roof. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to build the roof, the foundation first before you can build the roof. So it starts with long-term investing. We identify stocks that are good or are going to appreciate in the future, are going to do well. We invest in them at the early stage, and at Trading Rich, we talk about that. All our students know how to identify high quality names and buy them at a very low price and hold them long term. So long term is 5 to 10 years. And then you have option selling. So ETFs means exchange traded funds, like a basket of investments, right? So if you have the S&P 500 ETF, is called SPY, right? It's a basket of all the stocks listed in the S&P 500. And then QQQ is the one for the Nasdaq, right? So here, options. So now you own the shares. So it's just like doing ABMB in the stock market. You own the shares, but let those shares make money for you on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis. Use that to pay your bills. Use that to fund your lifestyle. Say, hey, I want to take my family to Disneyland. Okay, no problem. You go to your portfolio, you go and sell option and take money from the market to pay for that. That is what this is about. So after you've built the foundation, now you can take a little bit more risk because you now have a safety net that you can rely on. This is what this is about, right? So you start from here and then you grow up if you want to do that. It's not for everybody, right? These two, the ones on top, it's not for everybody. But this here is something that anybody can do, right? Because the option selling part, you only need 1 hour. Everybody has 1 hour a week. 1 hour a week is all you need. 15 minutes a day or 5 minutes a day. Sometimes you don't even need to check the thing. You can even wait the whole week, you check it 1 or twice, and then that's it. Okay, so from gambling to a system, why do people lose in the market? And they say, oh man, the stock market does not work. Is that this thing? Because first of all, they lack the right training. They are hopping from YouTube channel to YouTube channel, and they are not getting training for it. So I got training. I spent like almost 30,000 USD to learn what I learned. I learned from millionaire traders and investors. I have 4 mentors, okay, to learn from them. So I learned from them and I learned everything. And what I did was, my background is engineering and I have a science and distant background. So I sat down and analyzed everything, compiled statistical data, and I put together my own systems in place, okay? So mentorship comes at a point because you don't want to be spinning your wheel, right? Spinning your wheel, jumping from place to place and not learning anything, or just gambling. Like someone said, a YouTuber said, buy this stock, and you're buying it. What's the reason behind it, right? You don't even know the reason. And then once you lose money, you are blaming the person, right? You have to learn and invest here. And as I started in the presentation, I said that at this point in time, we are in what Martin Luther King calls the fierce urgency of now. No job is safe. Most jobs are not safe at this time due to AI. So this is a period where you have to learn about something that you can invest in so that you can make passive income on the side. Okay, so this is why most people are unsuccessful. They don't have a system that works, or they don't know how the market works, or they've not gotten mentorship. Okay, so this brings me to the cash flow option system. So this is a system that I developed after years of trading the market. And I figured that, okay, I have students were asking me, is there something that, I'm a doctor, I'm a dentist, I'm a surgeon, I'm very busy. Is there something that I can do that does not involve a lot of work? I say yes. This is it. This is the cash flow option system. So this system is going to help you to become the insurance company, and is also going to help you become the the casino. You take money from the gamblers, right? That's what this is going to be like. So what does the cash flow system stand for? First of all, we respect capital. Capital protection is key, because in any business, again, I teach my students, clients, to treat this as a business. This is not a hobby. This is not like something that you are taking hobby. This is a business, right? So we treat it like a business. So in any business, if you have no capital, you have no business, right? So capital, C means capital protection, A means asset selection. So we talk about which companies are good for this, which are very good, rock solid companies that are going to be profitable, are profitable companies that we can rely on, right? And selection of option plays. We talk about that. High probability setups, financial discipline, liquidity and market awareness, ongoing optimization of income. So once your portfolio is growing, you can now optimize. So you can start with, okay, I'm using it to pay my phone bill. I'm using it to pay my home insurance. I'm now using it to pay my mortgage. Oh, I'm now using it to, I've scaled enough that this is now replacing my 9 to 5 income. Oh, now I can even retire early and go live my life. That's the key, right? And then W is wealth compounding. So then you build wealth from there, right? Whether you can invest some of that money in real estate, you can invest some of that money in other things like buy a business, etc. Okay. So what's the desired objective of this system? So the desired objective is to make at least 1 to 5% per month from this strategy. Again, it depends on the stock that you're using to do this, or the ETF. You can also get capital appreciation. So if a stock goes up, you can make money from there as well, and you guys collect dividend, right? So there are companies that pay dividend like Walmart. So if you own a Walmart, you can use that as well, and you get the dividend from that, and you can also make your own dividend. So here we are creating our own dividend from the market. So it just pays you to agree to buy stocks that you believe in or companies that you believe in, and you just pay to wait, and you buy them at a discount. This requires no previous experience, right? Only a few thousands of dollars is what you need. Like, you can even start with as low as $1,000. I'll show you a couple of examples that you can just start with $1,000, right? And then obviously if you have more money, and you can scale from there, from 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, like that. Even $500 you can start with. Okay. All right. So just imagine getting paid significant sum of money just to agree to buy some of the best companies in the world for a discount, right? Is this a deal you're willing to take? Yes. That's the backbone of the cash flow blueprint. Okay. So return matters. The power of compounding. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientists, said, compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it, right? So here, example, if you go to a compound interest calculator and you put in $400 a month, let's say you are putting away $400 a month, and you know a way where you can make 30% return over 15 years period, that's going to be $1 million. 15 years. It's not 40 years, 15 years, right? So with the cash flow system, you can scale it in such a way that you can make significant return, right? In a very conservative way and safe way, right? So $100, 7% is what? 400,000 over 20 years. 100,000, 14% is this. 21% of the same 100K is that 6 million, right? In 20 years. So that is what the compound interest is. How does it work? You find a stock which you want to own anyway, a company that you believe in, you do your analysis, do your extensive research, and then you invest in that, right? You agree to buy the stock at a discount. So we go into the market, let's say I see Walmart. I say, okay, Walmart is trading at 126. No, I don't want to buy it at 126. I want to buy it at $100. And do you know that you are going to be paid for doing that? That happens in the stock market. So I can continue doing that until Walmart comes to my price, right? You're just getting paid for basically doing nothing, for just waiting, right? So that is called, in order to do that, you get paid a premium. Premium is the amount that you collect from the buyers, right? And then we may have to buy the stock or not. So you can decide to buy the stock, or you might not decide to buy. You say, you know what, I changed my mind, I'm not going to buy it, but you collected the premium. You don't give it back, right? So that is called cash secured put. So what you do is that you put cash down. Let's say a stock costs $10. In order to control 100 shares, you put like thousand what's it called? You put $1,000 down, and then you're able to get that premiums from it, the collecting the premiums until you hit your ideal price where you want to buy it at. Okay. So yeah, let me use the real estate analogy, right? Let's say I want to buy. Let's say you are someone selling a like a house, like a two-story house in downtown Toronto. I know that this is fantasy land, right? Because downtown Toronto, you cannot get a two-story house for 600,000. That's just dreaming, right? In fantasy land. So let's assume that's possible, okay? And I look at the home. I say you are listing it for 600,000, but I've done my analysis. I know that no, that home in 1 year time, I think is going to go to 650, right? I've done my analysis and stuff, all that stuff. So in order for me to buy the house, I come to you, the seller, and say, you know what? I like your house. I'm going to buy it, but I want to pay 590,000. But I'll do that in 30 days. You say, okay, fine. You know what? I want to sell it anyway. I'll do it. But I'll say, okay, here's the catch. The catch is that you, the seller, you have to pay me 10,000 in order for me to do that deal. So I'll say, hold on a sec. Like, you wanted 10,000 discount. You want me to pay you another 10,000. So that means, in effect, I'm losing 20,000. I'm sure you are going to call the cops and say, man, get out of here, right? This does not make sense. But do you know that this happens in the stock market? That is what the cash flow blueprint does, right? You can use that to collect money. So you see stocks that you want to own them, but you want to own them at a discounted price, right? So we either buy the house at a discount of 2% or keep the premium, which is 10,000, right? Or we just keep the premium of 10,000 and don't buy the house. So you can do that. So that's what this is about in a very safe way. Okay. So this is a case study here of an example where we use AMD. AMD is like a semiconductor company, right? When I did this trade here, it was trading at $200, and I said no, I want to buy AMD at 170. That's my best price. I'm not buying at $200. So agreeing to buy this, that means that I'm going to get discount of 15%, right? And because we agreed to do this, we get paid a premium. So immediately I execute on the trade. The market pays me this. So this amount here, you multiply by 100. The market pays me 300 USD instantly. And I'm just doing it for 2 weeks. So this can be like my biweekly income, right? $320 for 14 days. Agreed, right? And then here's the outcome. So when I sold it, this is what I got. This is the amount that I got. And I waited for 14 days. After 14 days, AMD did not get to my ideal price. So this is gone. So the person that I sold it to, that's the gambler. I sold it to that person. The option became worthless. So I took the money away from them, right? Then I said, okay, no problem. I'll do it again because the thing has not come to my level anyway. I'll do it again. Do it for the second week. This time around, I was able to make $125 USD. Again, it did not come to my level again. It did not come to the ideal price. So rinse and repeat. So either way, I'm winning, right? I'm winning. I'm doing it several times. I can even up the price, go to 180 and do it, right? So we do analysis, both fundamental and technical, to know whether the thing is going to come to our price or not, right? So if I really, really, really want to get the stock right now, I can do that instantly, and then I'll still get paid for it. So anytime I want to buy shares of a stock in the stock market, I don't go in the market like any other person where they go and say, okay, I want 100 shares of Netflix. Then you buy. No, I want the market to pay me for buying the 100 shares at the price that I want. That's the system, okay? So here, over the 30-day period, if I do over the 30-day period, the return on investment was 2.7%, and over a yearly return compounded, that's 38%. Okay, yeah. So if you do the math here, this is a compound interest calculator. That's how you get it. Okay, and so here these are possible options. So possible ways where this can go. So the stock was trading at $200. I wanted to get it at 170. It did not come to my price. AMD, by the way, is still going up. It did not come to my price. And then here, AMD, if AMD is more than $170, it means that I don't have to do anything. I just rinse and repeat like I did. However, if let's say hypothetically AMD went lower than that $170, I would have been able to buy 100 shares. But remember that all throughout that time, I'm getting paid. They have been paying me all this money. So that means that I'm not even going to pay it at $170, which is 170 times 100, 17,000. It's going to be lower than that because all that premiums that I'm collecting means that I'm getting the stock at a price that I want at a discount, and I've been collecting premium from it. Okay, so that is what this is about, right? So you collect the premium, and then you can rinse and repeat the cycle as you go on. Okay, so here, what happens if we end up owning the stock? No problem, because it's a company that I want to own anyway, and it came to a price that I wanted. So what I do now is that because I have the 100 shares, I can use that one as my collateral. So the first one that we did was a cash secure put. So I have to put 17,000 down to control 100 shares in order to be doing that. Now I own the 100 shares. So my collateral, the first time the collateral was the cash. Now my collateral is the shares of a stock. Okay, so with the shares of a stock, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to flip the switch and sell what is called covered calls and collect more premium, more money, right? So every single time, every week I'm selling, or every 2 weeks, you can set it up in the way that you want. Like if you don't want to do multiple management, you can just set it up for a monthly basis. So one short deal. You sell here, you wait for 1 month and you close it. Sometimes within a week, the thing goes into your favor and then you can close the position. You don't need to wait for the whole month, right? So here with a covered call, what it does is that I'm selling the stock covered call at a higher price. So AMD now, maybe I bought it now for 170, I can do a covered call for 190, meaning that if AMD does not get to 190 or higher, I still keep the premium and I rinse and repeat. That's what it is. But during that period, I'm also going to get capital appreciation because the stock is going to go up. If it goes up, I'm still gaining. So I'm double dipping kind of thing, right? So yeah, this is a covered call scenario. And if I did the $180, I make 10% return. So you can continue doing this over the whole cycle. So this becomes like a luxury 4-course meal, right? First, I start with cash secure put, collect money from them. Then I go to the second course, which I collect premium. Then I come here. If I get assigned, if I get 100 shares, I repeat the cycle now using covered calls and collect premium like that, plus capital appreciation. So this is like a 4-course meal. So you go round like that. So you are going to win, right? As Donald Trump likes to say, you are going to win until you get tired of winning, right? That's what it is. So here, this is an example of a stock. This is a drone company, right? This company is like, when I alerted this company in our community, it was like less than $1 on that, right? It's like a drone company. And you know that this company has some deals with the US military and stuff. And now, with the US-Iran war, we know that drones are a key player here. So this company went from $1 to like, I think the highest was $15. So you already own the shares of it. So here, I own like 1,000 shares of this. Like I used to own more, but I sold majority of it. But I have like 1,000 shares now. So with this 1,000 shares, I go into the market and say, and by the way, this stock now is trading at $10 per share. Okay, so you can own it for $1,000 and start this process with it, right? So here, for agreeing to hold this thing here, in 2 weeks, I made what? $500, $556 US, right? In just to hold this, right? Over a period that I wanted. It could be 2 weeks, it could be 1 month, etc., right? So obviously, the more you sell it for, the more premium you're going to make, right? By following the system. So here, I collected this premium. I just waited. All what I did was to wait. And then I closed it on Friday here. I closed it on Friday. And by the time I closed it, this was like zero. This was like, so whoever bought it, the gambler that bought it, whoever bought it, their thing went worthless, and I took their money, right? So rinse and repeat. So what you have to know is that the premium, you get to keep it anyways. You don't return it. Once you sell it and you make the money, you keep it. It doesn't matter what the outcome is, you keep it anyways. Okay. All right. So another one with Microsoft. Microsoft is a company that I like anyway, which everybody knows. Anybody that knows Windows, you know Microsoft, right? So Microsoft too. This one eventually came, and then yeah, March 27th. By the time March 27th came, it was like 90%, right? So this one too, I collected 300 and approximately $340 from this, and repeated the cycle, right? There's also another one called MU. MU is a very semiconductor stock which is hot this year. Memory chip stock which is doing really well. I made $1,000 from it to sell the options, right? I made it and then rinse and repeat like that, right? So there are a whole bunch of examples. So here in the month of March, by using this strategy alone, right, the return on investment was 26%, right? 26%. And this is the S&P 500. Remember, in the beginning of the presentation, I talked about the goal is for us to beat the S&P 500. The S&P 500 was down, was negative, right? Down by 9%, right? Month of March. But the portfolio was up 26%. So that shows you the power of the strategy. And then this is just like the simple version. There's more advanced strategies that you can use to reduce costs and do a lot of things where you can even set it up where it becomes a no loss system, right? So I as part of the strategy, there's a one that is called the no loss system where you can set it up in a very defensive manner where nothing is going to happen. So in this strategy here, you don't lose, because what is called a loss is like, oh, you get to own 100 shares of Microsoft or 100 shares of AMD. It's a stock that I want to own anyway, and I wanted to own it at a very discounted price, and I got my price. So it's a win-win situation. I just flip the switch and do the covered call part. Okay, so Warren Buffett, according to Warren Buffett, uses this strategy as well. His company is no longer manages it, Berkshire Hathaway, right? Warren Buffett, for those that don't know him, he's the one of the greatest investors of the last 100 years. And his company, Berkshire Hathaway, anytime they want to buy like stocks like Coca-Cola and things, they use this strategy. The market pays them, and then they invest, and then they make money, double, right? So here, Warren Buffett is known to be one of the greatest investors of all times, right? So this is a very powerful strategy. So here you don't need to do it on many stocks. So typically I only focus on 10 to 15 stocks, and in my concentrated portfolio I just do it on only 5 key ones that I do it, right? Everybody's different, everybody's portfolio is different, and Warren Buffett uses this to as an overlay for his stuff, right? And he once said that the more you learn, the more you earn, right? And Warren Buffett also says that if you don't figure out a way to make money while you sleep, you are going to work for the rest of your life, right? So this here is a way where you can make money without I don't see this at work. This is not work, right? This is not work. Work is clocking in 40 hours a week. That's work, right? This is not work. Okay. So here I go to the next part. So we are doing a bootcamp coming up, which is going to be cash flow blueprint. And in this bootcamp, we are going to incorporate AI. So this bootcamp is going to be a game changer, because you see all this analysis that we did, we have built a system where we can use AI to do the analysis for us. So you have the understanding, you put it into our AI system, and then the AI system can help you analyze the thing. So you can compare and contrast, right? And make a decision. So everything is going to be part of this book. So what is this bootcamp about? You're going to learn to use the stock market to pay all your living expenses, how to take back your time and invest and trade like smart money, how to use stock options to generate revenue while doing a full-time job. You can do your full-time job and make this on the side as well as your new stream of income. Okay, so what is it going to cover? We are going to cover we are going to cover all this stuff here. So we are going to go, so it's going to be on the weekend, 2 weekends, starting April 25th, where we are going to go through the material, go through everything, the theoretical portion of things for everybody to understand. And then we are going to spend the entire month of May doing the practicals, where we take live trades together, right? We take it, and also everybody's going to get a one-on-one meeting with me where we talk about your financial goals and your financial freedom roadmap, right? Here's what you're going to get when you invest in this today. So first, you are going to get our AI stock analysis and ETF tool. So you don't have to be doing all this analysis that we did, right? The AI stuff is going to do it for you, and it's going to make your life easy, right? So why make things complicated when we have tools that can help us do it, right? So we use AI, we use the power of AI. Okay. Then here, what you will be getting from this. So here you get a full cash flow options bootcamp. So we go through the theoretical stuff, and this course here, I'm guaranteeing everybody that you're going to make money, right? If you don't make money after taking it, after a 30-day period, come to me. I'm going to refund your money for you, and you are going to keep everything that you can keep everything, and I'll refund the money back, right? This is the only thing I can give you a guarantee on, because I know that from day one you are going to start making money. From day one you are going to start making money. There's no way you're not going to make money, right? Okay, so that's the value here. And so together with this, with the Teflon no loss system added to it, it makes it bulletproof, right? Whereby that's why we are so confident that you are going to make money. That's why we are guaranteeing it. We are giving 30-day money back guarantee. Nobody does that in the industry. Okay, so step-by-step comprehensive program, which is going to transform you into a confident investor. Okay, and then here, this is what it's going to be. So we are going to do this is going to be so the practicals, the going through the content, the course content, everything for you to understand. So we are going to start from the scratch. Like, it's for beginners. We're going to start from the beginner. If you are an advanced person, it doesn't matter where you are going to learn something from this, right? Because you're going to start. So what I've showed you so far is just the basic of the basic strategy. There's more to it. There's more advanced strategies that you can use, where you can even be using it as your bread and butter, where you're making money from it every single week, right? So here, this is what is going to cover here. We're going to talk about stock mastery, risk management, broker. So your brokerage that you're going to use is an interactive broker. Whichever one you are using, we are going to help you set it up so that you can use it effectively. And then the options bootcamp, the course, we are going to do it together. It's going to be live. It's not a recorded course, so you can get to ask questions. And then trading psychology is very important. Psychology is very important, right? We are going to talk about a whole section on psychology, and then live trading transition system. We are going to talk about that. So everybody's going to start with a simulated account, like fake money. We are going to start with that for the 30 days until you master the system. And then after the 30-day period, everybody should be able to transition to use live real money to trade, right? And by that time, we would have met and done our one-on-one meeting, one-on-one meeting, where we talk about your financial roadmap, right? In terms of, okay, are you going to start your portfolio with $1,000? We map out a strategy for your unique strategy, right? Are you going to start a portfolio with 100,000? We map out your unique strategy. Are you going to start with $1 million? We map out your own strategy. So everybody's different, right? So you start from where and everybody is going to be covered, right? That's why I'm having that one-on-one with everybody. Everybody's financial situation is different, okay? What else do you need to succeed in this? So it's the 4-week live coaching, which is live trading, right? That I'm going to do it. So, most people take a course and they don't finish it. But here, you are going to take the course and we are going to do the practicals together. You are going to see it in action, that money is being made. After the 4 weeks period, after you've mastered everything, now you can use this to start doing it in real money. And this can even fund your summer vacation. If you want to take your family to Disney, you just go and let the market pay for it. You can do that, right? In a safe way. And then here, so here we start with 1 hour one-on-one coaching session, strategy session, where we talk about your financial freedom strategy, right? Everybody's different. What you want to, what's your retirement goals, all that kind of thing. We can talk about that, and we map out a personalized system for you, right? And then we are going to have weekly group meetings where we do the live trading, right? Live. If you can't make it, everything is going to be recorded, so you can always come back and watch it, right? And then here you have this other stuff there. Okay, and then you have the platform. you have the platform. Sorry, I'll answer the questions later, guys. Platform setup, everything is going to be set up. So, okay, so you also have a private community where you can have like accountability network where you are working with other people that registered for the course, and we are also going to have your accountability partner. So everybody's going to have their accountability partner that they're going to be working with, so that you guys can meet and do your own thing and share ideas and stuff. So this is for those that are serious to take things to the next level, right? And I put together this in order for it to be very effective, not just teaching a course and going away and stuff. No. I want people to practice it and start realizing the rewards of the strategy. Okay, so this is what we have here. So the total, so if this system here, if you give all this at a low risk system to generate monthly income, would it be worth 10,000? How much would it be worth? It would be worth more than that, right? So the cost of inaction is you lose time trying to spin the wheel, jumping from YouTube channel to YouTube channel or program to program or etc. But here you are getting the real deal where you are starting. You are going to see the thing in action, and you are going to be taking action and making money from day one, right? Diminished results, regret, and frustration, right? These are some of the things that the cost of inaction, right? But this isn't a cost, it's an investment. Okay, so similar programs that I know of, they charge 10,000 or more. There was a time that I wanted to get mentorship from one guru. He told me he's going to charge me 20,000 USD for that, right? With no mentorship. It's just like, what's it called, on demand course where you have to do it by yourself. So here, this is our 30-day money back guarantee. If you don't make money, let me know. But you have to watch all the videos, take at least 10 trades. You have to do 10 paper trades so that we see that you took the trades. It's not just come in and say, oh, I want a refund, and you've not even attended any of the classes, you've not watched any of the videos and stuff. No, you want to do it. If you do it, give yourself a chance. I would refund your money back to you. No problems asked. No questions asked. Okay. So the real question is that, can you afford not to do this program? So this is the total value, right? Today's cost. This is how much it's going to cost here, 1997 USD, right? But because you are here today in this masterclass, I'm going to give you a deal. So the deal is you are going to get 800 USD off. You're only paying 1197 USD. That's the final price. And you can use the promo code Canada What Next, right? CWN, Canada What Next. This is the thing, CWN, and you are going to get that discount, right? So the first 5 people to sign up today, are going to get extra 1 hour one-on-one coaching with me, where we can discuss anything that you want to discuss, right? Related to the market, right? And this is going to be the final offer. Okay, so yeah, so if you want to connect with me, this is my contact information, and you can always scan it and then reach out and set up a meeting with me. There's a place where you can set up a meeting. And here, thank you for your attention. I'll open the floor to ask questions. I see that you guys have a lot of questions, so I'll go through the questions here and I'll answer them. So if you want to unmute, like I see someone raise their hands, like if you want to unmute and ask a question, you can ask. So I'll go through the questions here. Someone says, if we have to start at the bottom of the pyramid, does it mean that that we wait 5 to no, you don't have to wait now. You don't have to wait. You can. The thing is that once you get the reason that you get mentorship is to accelerate your learning, because the stuff that I know here that I've learned in the last 6 years, most people that have been in the market for 20 years don't know half of it, right? Because I wanted to accelerate my learning, so I went to learn from millionaire traders and investors so that I can accelerate my learning. So you don't need that. You can, with a 1 year strategy, 1 year, in 1 year, you can actually use this to replace your 9 to 5 income. quick, very fast, right? Someone say, can you keep, sorry about that. Let me just go back. I'll go back to that screen. And I have a present for you guys. Yeah, Marie has a question. Marie, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Richard, for the
So,
presentation.
yeah, sorry, Marie, one question. I have to put the link here. I think I forgot to put the link. Let me put the link here. So, guys, this is the link. This is a bootcamp link. I'm going to put it here in the chat. And Marie, can you please put it in the YouTube?
Yeah, I will put it in the YouTube.
Canada, what next? Yeah, so that's the promo code. Promo code is this. Promo code is this here. Canada, what next? This one, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. I hope everybody enjoyed the presentation, and thank you again for taking the time to come here today. And you know, most of the majority of my subscriber, they are French speaking people. And someone was asking, actually 2 people asked in the chat if they can have the presentation in French. And if someone wants to join the bootcamp and they are not speaking English, can you do something about it? How
we'll do some
issue.
Yeah, so what we are going to do is that I'll get my team to, once we get the recording, I'll get my team to, they're going to use AI or something to translate everything into French. Hopefully it works. I don't know how they are going to do it. They're going to figure it out, right? They are going to make it work, and we are going to send it to Marie, and Marie can post it on the YouTube channel, and you are going to get the French version, right? So the program is going to be in English, but we can work on converting it to French. So once you sign up, it's going to be in English, but we are going to convert it to French eventually, whereby you can also get it. So I'll work with my team to figure out something, because the same system that we are going to use to translate this can also be used for translate the bootcamp videos, right? So we are going to do that. So it's going to be pretty straightforward to do that.
Yeah, that's really cool, because when English is not your first language, it can be really challenging to understand the concept and also to follow, because you have to understand what you're doing before playing with money.
Play with money. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. So this that you guys can take a screenshot of this. I put the link here. So this is the link. So how do you get the link? So it's easy to find the link. So you come to our website, tradingrich.com, right? Tradingrich.com here. You come to courses, click on courses. You go down, you see options, cash flow, bootcamp. You click on it, and then so that's the link. So here, once you click here, over here, you put in the promo code CWN, Canada, what next? Boom, then you get your discount. That is it, right? That's what it is, and then you can execute on it. So those that sign up, what we are going to do this weekend is that we are going to start giving you guys some videos, some training videos that you can watch. Like those one, you can just watch them just to get a sense of that is more detailed. You are going to get all the information. But once we start the bootcamp, all those videos are going to go away, and we are going to do everything from the scratch, from ground zero, right? Assuming that you don't know anything about the market, this is what it's going to be like. And then we are going to build from there. So by the time you finish, you understand about the market. And then if we get some kind of market crash or something, which I think might happen sometime this year, you are going to get the best opportunity, right? You know that market crashes are the time to build generational wealth, right? And at Trading Rich, we've been able to catch most of the market tops and bottoms. We have systems that we use to do that. Last week, those that attended the masterclass that I did within our community, I gave them some stocks, and some of those stocks are already up 20%, because I told them that I think we are at the bottom. We are going to get a reversal in the market, right? So all those things I'm going to teach you guys in the course. So let me go through other questions here quickly.
I have a question, Richard. So I'm here to advocate for my community. So I just want to ask if there is a way for people from my community to pay in installment. I know that the bootcamp is really short, but my community is mostly new immigrant, and we don't have. I know we value the education, but I also understand that people may have difficulties to pay, like $1,000 US upfront. So can you please do something about it for the people of my community?
Yeah. So I mean, we can do something. No, if you want to do a payment plan, just I'll talk to Maria and then we figure out something. But you can book a meeting with me, right? The easy way to book a meeting with me.
Thank you.
So just look at this, book a meeting. But all payments have to be done. We can figure out a way where all payments can be done before the bootcamp starts, right? Yeah. So we can make that installment payment. We'll figure it out. Okay, just book it and then we'll go from there. Okay. Any other questions? So I still have the gifts. The gifts have not been given yet, open yet. So I'll let you guys know what the gifts are. The gifts that the market gods told me to give to you guys, right? So, and I hope you guys. So any other question? If you have a question, please raise your hand. Let me check if somebody raised their hand here. So this is something that everybody needs to learn because we live in an era where AI is going to disrupt a lot of things. In September or so, I am hearing rumors that Apple is going to be launching their what's called agentic Siri. You know, Apple has Siri, right? Those have iPhones. So Apple is now going to create like an AI agent whereby you can actually tell it to go into your apps, like, you know, send a WhatsApp message to Richard, send money, go to my bank account, send $2,000 to Marie, do that. It can do all that stuff. That is going to be a game changer. Right now, we have a company called Claude, like the AI companies. The AI companies. I've forgotten the name, but the software name is Claude, right? Claude is doing a lot of things, right? Right now, you can actually create an AI agent by yourself, which can do most of the things that you used to do, like emails, doing all that stuff. They can do that. So AI is changing the system. So if you go to university to go and learn something like graphic design, it's a waste of time. You can do that with AI. You should rather learn how to use AI to do those things and spare and save that 4-year tuition at a university. So there's a lot of things that are going to happen. So this is a time where you have to learn about something that is a high value skill, so that if God forbid you lose your job, you don't have to worry because you have the skill. You can make money on your own. You don't need a boss. You don't need to apply for any job. You can do that thing on your own. So the best time to do so is the time that you have a job. You have a job, you have things going for you and stuff, then you are learning it on the side with no pressure. Okay? All right. So let me know if you guys have any questions before I go and open the presents. I'll just wait for a second here to see if there are any questions, and then I'll go into the stuff. Okay. All right. So someone asking a question. Oh, this in French. Why? What did she write? What did the person write? So okay. All right. So okay. I'll go to the gifts. Okay. So this is what I believe is going to happen here in the markets, right? So I'm going to show you guys what's going to happen in the market. I'm going to go into the charts here. So don't worry about this. Anybody that's going to take the course, by the time you finish, you are going to understand this. So this here is the charts, right? This is like technical charts. This is the footprints of money. Every candle that you see here is money signs all over the place, right? Anytime you see a red candle, it means that is those that are pessimistic, the bears are causing that thing to go down, and green means that is bullish, means that they are optimistic folks is green, right? So it means that if the stock is up, it's green. If the stock is down, it's red. Okay, so these are things that you're going to learn. Once we do the course, we are going to do a technical analysis session and stuff. So one of the gifts that the market gods told me to give to you guys, one of them is my favorite stock, Tesla, right? Tesla is like a Tesla. So one of the stock is Tesla. I believe that Tesla has sold off a lot. It is due for a reversal. And actually, there's a catalyst that came. There's a news that came in, I think, on Friday, that full self-driving has been approved in Europe, like the European country, Holland, the country of Holland. Netherlands, right? They have approved full self-driving, meaning that if you have a Tesla, you can sit in the using the self-driving software of Tesla to be able to drive yourself anywhere, right? So that has been approved in that country. And now it's going to cause other European countries to start approving by the time you see a whole bunch of folks have approved it, right? So that's something that is a good news story for Tesla, and they have earnings coming up soon. I mean, earnings are usually a coin flip, but here, this is more buying shares of the stock, right? Shares of the stock. So here, Tesla shares is in what in technical terms shows that it's called oversold. It has to, it has to rally. So here, this chart that you see here, right? For technical traders, what we use this to predict price, future price, right? Because you look at this, use historical data, you see that this trend line here, so just simple, just using simple trend line, right? You see that every single time this has come here, it has gone up, it has bounced and gone. So this is called a support trend line, right? Support meaning that it's just like the floor of the building that you are in or the room that you're in is your support. The ceiling is called resistance in trading, right? So here, it has come to this point where I believe that it's due for a bounce. It's already calling up. It's already calling up. So I believe that by the time, by the next couple of days here or weeks or whatever, this can come to this yellow line. You see over here, around 400, right? So imagine you bought this here, 450. This would have given you 50 points move, 13% move, right? So if you invested $1,000, you made $130 from it, right? Just by this move. And then if you know how to trade options, you can also make good income from that as well using this. But this one I'm advocating for shares because they have earnings coming up. So Tesla is due for a move and is a good time to buy Tesla right now. Okay. And if you cannot afford Tesla, there's also something called the leverage ETF. So here, leverage ETF of Tesla is something that you can get. You can buy the shares, not options, buy shares. Shares is now $10. So this one, how it works is that every time Tesla goes up by 1%, the leverage ETF, the 2x leverage ETF goes up by 2%. So you are making double the return. So for instance, if it moves from here to this area, it's going to be what, let's just say 20%. It moves 20%. This one here, TSLL, is going to give you a 40% return on investment. Okay, so that's significant because if you put $1,000, you made 400 from that, just like that, right? So, and if you understand the cash flow thing and other things, you can make money from this left, right, center in different angles, right? So Tesla is one of them. Okay, so Tesla or TSLL, as you can start buying from Monday. Okay. And then next one is Meta. We all know Meta, right? Meta is Meta Platforms. It's funny how people were saying that Meta was dead in 2026. And the same people making those arguments, they are making those arguments on WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram, which is funny, right? You are saying a platform is dead, but you're using the same platform to make arguments. So Meta is one of the companies in the group of companies called the Magnificent Seven. Meta is one of them. Tesla and Meta are one of them, right? There are two. So there are 7 of them. So you can Google the Magnificent Seven stocks. That's your homework, right? So here, Meta, those that came to our masterclass in what's it called? In March. We did one on March, the Sunday, the weekend, right? Those guys have already made 20% return on that day, because that day I also gave another gift, which was Meta. Those that bought and executed, they've already made 22% already on Meta, right? And Meta is still more to come, because Meta is one of the companies that is going to be posting earnings coming up this month here. And Meta is a very, very profitable company. Like, they even have dividend now. Anytime they post earnings, their numbers are spectacular. All the Magnificent Seven, if there's a company that I really like their earnings numbers, is Meta, right? So Meta is ready to go, and this is a good time to buy Meta. Buy shares. I'm talking about shares here. No options. Like, unless you know how to do options, you should not do it with this right now, right? Because they have earnings coming up. But I believe that gives a good time to buy shares on Meta. So Meta, and as soon as Monday, you can start buying, right? Buy Meta. And then if you can't afford Meta, there's also a leverage ETF for Meta. Same idea, right? Meta goes up by 1%, this goes up by 2%. So you can buy it at $26 per share, and then you can write it up, right? And capture them. So you deploy leverage ETFs when the stock is at extreme decline. You don't use leverage ETF when the stock is trading at all-time highs. No, that's not how you do it. You do it when it's low, right? Like right now. So this one is Meta. So you guys can take a screenshot of it. And then last but not the least is Netflix. Netflix is, we all know Netflix, right? Netflix, we all know Netflix. So Netflix here is like, you know, if you look at Netflix as well was one of the things I called in the last masterclass here, and is doing wonders. They have earnings coming up. They increase their fees, and I think they are going to report on that as how that is helping their revenue. So obviously, I'm pretty sure that by the time the earnings come, is going to be trading above this yellow line. It's going to be up. So Netflix is due for more. Again, earnings is a coin flip. Anything can happen. They can say something that the market do not like and it's going to sell. But Netflix is a good company to invest in. You are buying shares, so you buy dollar cost average, hold it, and get the returns from it. So Netflix is a good one to buy. Okay. It also has a leverage ETF, Netflu or something. This one is the leverage ETF, right? But this one, yeah, so you can get a leverage ETF as well. You can buy the shares alone, and you can capitalize on the move, right? But you can get the shares is at a good price here. Okay. The only risk is that it can come down here and do what is called a gap fill, right? So this can, maybe if something, the earnings is bad and they don't like it, Wall Street does not like it, it can come here. But if you are buying shares, you are going to dollar cost average into these areas. Okay. All right. So let me know if there's any other questions. So I will put this here on the screen. You guys can take a screenshot of it. Then we can wrap up. Here. So once again, this is the registration link, and then the promo code is this. Okay. All right. And then yeah, promo code is this. So yeah, so let me know if you guys have any questions. I am done here. Thank you very much for your time. We look to see you guys in the community there. And we have a community. So here, what I would say is that make sure you join our free community. You know, we have a free community here. And so I'll put the link here. So this is our free community. Go to tradingrate.com, click on here, join the free community. This is a free community, you don't need to pay anything. And then you can also go to our it's our YouTube here. Yeah, it's our YouTube channel. So subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, because our YouTube channel, every Sunday night I provide a game plan, right, of how, like, you know, I talk about commodities like gold, silver, crypto and stuff like that. I mean, before crypto started selling, like Bitcoin started selling, I called the top on Bitcoin in October, right? So if you go to our shorts here, you can see those things there. I call the top on Bitcoin, right? So if you come here, you're going to learn. So every week I provide the top stocks that are going to move for that week, and we analyze it, and I give you the game plan, and you can just execute on it, right? Just execute on it. So you can go here and then you can subscribe, right? So that you can get notifications and stuff. And if you are part of our community, you get the email reminders as well. Okay. All right. So let me know if there are any questions, guys. Thank you for your time. And once again, this is the stuff here. So if you scan this QR code, you are going to get all my contacts. You're going to get all the links, like to our community, to our WhatsApp group, to everything. You are going to get everything in one place. And then this is going to help you to join all our free stuff. And then on Fridays, every Friday, I trade with everybody live, free of charge, right? So if you want to learn about day trading as well, we can also teach you that as well in our community. So we have different programs, right? Yeah, but as a beginner, I want everybody to start at the bottom of the pyramid, which is important, right? Okay. All right. So let me see here if there's any other questions. All right. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing you guys in the bootcamp and in the community. Again, we have a free community. There, you don't need to pay for it. You can join, no problem, and then you can learn, get something from there. You know, every Sunday I go live and break down the market. Okay. All right. Okay. Have a good one.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.